Welcome to our executive interview series here at the Zero Trust Summit presented by CyberScoop. I'm Elias Grohl, the senior editor at CyberScoop, and I'm here with Mitch Herckis, the branch director for Federal Cybersecurity at the Office of the Federal CIO in the Executive Office of the President. Mitch, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So I'd like to start by asking you, what are the biggest operational challenges that federal agencies still face in establishing a zero trust environment?
Well, I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is that every agency is unique. We've got micro agencies that are a couple dozen people to large federated agencies that do myriad of different things. If you look at the Department of Commerce, they do everything from have offices around the world to launching satellites into space. So we've really got what we'd say is a panoply of different things going on across the agencies, and they all have their unique challenges. I would say, though, that is part of, trying to get our hands around that and build policy at the federal level off of an executive order that basically is broadly moving a culture of traditional cybersecurity methodologies towards one that is much more agile, much more focused on giving the right people the right access at the right time, and ensuring that otherwise there is extraordinarily security measures and enterprise visibility at the same time. That's a major cultural shift, and it's a major shift for a lot of these smaller agencies or subcomponents of large agencies that may have been taking a more traditional approach in the past. It's going to require a lot more collaboration, and we've gotten a long way towards doing that. We set a baseline for what that looks like with our federal zero trust strategy coming out of OMB not long after the executive order was issued. And the result of that 2 years later is significant shift on that operational approach. But there will always be, certain areas where there's a lot of unique things going on. And we're really starting to ensure that now that we are building that baseline across the federal government, that we're getting into these more granular and unique situations more and more, increasingly at the White House, to make sure that we're not leaving anyone behind on this, and that we're all moving forward towards this new reality of what's necessary to secure our infrastructure.
So what would you say are the biggest technical challenges that federal agencies still face to meet the mandates in the White House executive order on zero trust?
I think, there's all sorts of technical challenges. As I said before, we do have a very diverse environment, right? And that alone is a technical challenge. Because when you are doing all these different things and you have all these diverse mission sets, doing everything from delivering checks to healthcare to data across the globe, that makes for no one size fitting all. So now what we're doing is we're looking at those sort of scenarios. We've really gotten to the point where we collect data from agencies that says how far they've made it in implementing core zero trust efforts. And then we're looking at those outliers or the areas they're really struggling with, and we're trying to find ways to aim to help them, whether it's through the Technology Modernization Fund or it's through technical support, whether it be through CISA or the private sector. And ultimately looking at those systems that may not fit within those boxes. We've set out an IoT/OT working group that's going to be really driving forward on some of those unique use cases and ensuring we are building zero trust best practices playbooks around those sort of unique use cases for varying sector-specific issues, whether it be medical devices or aerospace or buildings. And then in addition to that, we're really seeing a lot of opportunities to really get down to the issues like maybe you have an information system in Antarctica. Maybe that is secured a little differently than your enterprise system that is located in Washington, D.C. So being able to identify those outliers and make sure we are looking at risk holistically and not just looking at numbers on paper, that's kind of the stage we're at as we continue to move down this journey.
Mitch Herckis, thank you so much for joining us at the Zero Trust Summit and sharing your expertise.
Thank you.